Hello, and welcome to our video on George S. Patton quotes. George S. Patton was a legendary American general who commanded the U.S. forces in the European and Mediterranean theaters during World War II. He was known for his bold and aggressive tactics, his charismatic and controversial leadership, and his memorable and inspiring words. In this video, we will share with you some of his most famous and powerful quotes that reflect his philosophy and personality. Let's start with a quote from War as I Knew It, a book that contains Patton's personal accounts of his experiences and thoughts during the war. This quote expresses his attitude towards success and failure, and how he bounced back from his setbacks. I don't measure a man's success by how high he climbs, but how high he bounces when he hits bottom. Next, we have a quote from the film Patton, a biographical movie that won 7 Academy Awards and portrayed Patton's life and career. This quote is part of a famous speech that Patton delivered to his soldiers before they embarked on the invasion of Sicily in 1943. It shows his patriotism, his confidence, and his sense of humor. The object of war is not to die for your country, but to make the other bastard die for his. Moving on, we have a quote from a letter that Patton wrote to his son George Patton IV in 1944 when he was commanding the Third Army in France. He gave him some advice on how to be a good leader and a good soldier. This quote reveals his wisdom and his values. Always do everything you ask of those you command. Next up, we have another quote from the film Patton, a movie that also depicted some of the controversies and criticisms that Patton faced during the war. One of them was when he slapped a soldier who suffered from shell shock in a hospital in Sicily, which caused a public outcry and almost ended his career. He later apologized to the soldier and to his troops, but he also defended his actions by saying this quote, "I'm not going to get ulcers worrying about things I can't control." Moving on, we have a quote from The Unknown Patton, a book that reveals some of the hidden facets of Patton's personality and interests. For example, did you know that Patton was an avid reader, a poet, a painter, and a believer in reincarnation? He also had a deep faith in God and prayed regularly. This quote shows how he encouraged his men to pray as well. Urge all of your men to pray, not alone in church, but everywhere. Pray when driving. Pray when fighting. Pray alone. Pray with others. Pray by night and pray by day. Next up, we have another quote from the film Patton, a movie that also highlighted some of the memorable moments and achievements of Patton's career. One of them was when he led his troops across France and Germany after the Normandy invasion in 1944, breaking through enemy lines and liberating towns and cities along the way. He was often ahead of schedule and ahead of his allies, which earned him both admiration and resentment. This quote captures his ambition and his drive. I want you to remember that no bastard ever won a war by dying for his country. He won it by making the other poor dumb bastard die for his country. Moving on, we have a quote from a speech that Patton gave to the cadets of the Virginia Military Institute in 1935, when he was a lieutenant colonel and an instructor at the U.S. Army War College. He shared with them his views on war, history, and leadership. He also emphasized the importance of courage and determination in the face of adversity. Courage is fear holding on a minute longer. These are just some of the many quotes that George S. Patton left behind for us to learn from and admire. He was a remarkable man who made a lasting impact on history and on the hearts of his men. He was a true leader, a warrior, and a patriot. We hope you enjoyed this video and found some inspiration from his words. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more videos on quotes and wisdom.